Hi, Caleb with Brownells here, and in today's video we're going to be installing the Midwest Industries handguard on a Henry lever action in 360 Buckhammer. So if you're not familiar with the Henry lever actions, they are exactly what they are. They're one of the more iconic lever actions currently on the market, and one of the better made ones, if we're being honest here. So what we're going to be doing is pulling off this furniture. This is the synthetic furniture that comes on this gun from the factory. And we're going to be putting on the Midwest Industries handguard. So if you're not familiar with Midwest Industries, then you're probably not familiar with us too much, because we've done a lot of Midwest Industries stuff in the past. Typically known for their AR-15 handguards, but they're getting into the lever action game and they're doing it well. All right. So let's jump right into it. Let's just kind of talk about what tools you're going to need. We're going to be using a vise here with padded vise jaws. All right. And of course I have, let me move this aside. I have my Fix-It Sticks Field Armor kit. This is the big kit. And of course I threw a Brownells magnet tip screwdriver in there because these driver handles are awesome. And we're going to be using a nylon punch because we're going to need to knock some stuff out of some dovetails on this gun here when we're getting it ready. Alright, so step one in the instructions from Midwest Industries says to remove the handguard on your Henry, which that's all they say in the instructions, and I said that was step one. That's actually step two. Step one is to clear it and just, of course, clear your firearm. Anytime we're working with firearms on our workbench here, they're always unloaded and there's no ammunition present on the workbench. And then they say to repeat that step, so we'll repeat that step. All right, and then now we can get started on removing this thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my muzzle here, and so the internal magazine tube, we're just going to open this up and set that aside, and we'll just set this aside until we're completely done with everything. All right, and then we'll just grab it and the vise jaws as close as we can to this dovetail without blocking the dovetail. Get it nice and snug here. All right, now there's a screw. If you'll look on the actual handguard here, there's a screw on this side, and then there's a screw exactly the same on the opposite side. All I'm going to do right now is just remove those two screws. And I'll start on my side. I promise you're not missing anything. Alright, so we'll open that up. Pull that screw out. There's one. And we have a magnetic parch tray on our Fix-It sticks, so we'll just stick it to there. And I know I'm blocking it with my hands, but if you've ever removed a screw, you know what I'm doing. We'll just take that all the way out. Alright, now this is something important to pay attention to here. I'm going to use a 5/64 Allen key, and I'll turn this towards you here so you can see it a little better. This front screw hole right here is a set screw going into a set screw. So we'll remove that, and it looks just like that right there. And this is what's holding that magazine tube and keeping it from rotating and holding it in. But there's another screw underneath that screw. All right, so pay attention to this part. I'm going to loosen it. And in this case, it came right out. But if for whatever reason it gets hung up about halfway, which it did do the first time I did this, all you need to do is loosen this screw right here. Don't take it all the way out. Just give it about one turn, and it'll come right out. All right. And there you have it. So this was actually going into the magazine tube a little bit, keeping it from rotating. And now with that out, as you can see, we can rotate this magazine tube. All right. So with these screws out, the magazine tube screws out, Now we need to knock this dovetail out because this magazine tube butts up against a shoulder in this piece that's dovetailed to the barrel, right? This band. And then it also butts up against a shoulder in the receiver. So there's no way to remove it without driving out this dovetail. That's where our nylon punch comes into play. So we'll just take a gander while I knock this out of here. And this magazine tube, I'll say this real quick too, is split. And it's split to make it nice and flexible. So you're going to feel like you're breaking something, you're not going to break anything. Alright, so I'll just knock this out real quick here. Alright. And cleared the dovetail. Alright, so now I can actually move this back just a bit so you can see here. Now I can remove the dovetail, just like so. And this front piece that butts up against the shoulder, it'll come off, but you can just leave it on. There's no reason to take that off right now. Alright, now the handguard, we need to slide forward. So we'll just wiggle it a bit as we slide. Keep sliding. And that is how you remove the Henry handguard. A little bit involved, but it's all straightforward. Just follow those steps, you'll get yours off, no problem. Notice you do have this bracket here that floats on the dovetail. Mine's loose, yours may not be this loose. It may be a little bit tighter, which is perfectly fine. So this is what our new handguard is going to mount to. What we need to do at this point is get this magazine tube back on, because we still need a magazine tube, right? Alright, so what I'm going to do is insert it into the receiver. Now I'm just going to reinstall this into the dovetail. So I'm going to slide it in just like this, you can see. I'm going to pull it out so you can get a good idea here. So this is your dovetail. We're just going to slide it in. We can get it pretty far by hand. And we'll just finish up with a nylon punch. Now I will say this. If you're using a brass punch or an aluminum punch instead of a nylon, come in through the other way so that you're not hitting this gap here. With a nylon punch, it's a nice thick piece of steel. You're not going to mess up anything. There we go. Nice and easy, installed. Now we just need to put those two plug screws back in. And just make sure your magazine tube is aligned so that the screw does indeed go back into the tube. There we go. It should still have just a little bit of play, but you should not be able to move it far. Alright, you shouldn't be able to rotate it, I should say. It'll move a little bit, and that's okay. Alright, so we'll tighten down the second screw on top of it so the first screw can't back out. Alright, and now we're ready to start installing the Midwest handguard, okay? And this handguard comes with iron sights, which is pretty cool. So we'll just go ahead and remove our old sights. Get this set up here. And the front sight, I'll turn it so you can see. Is held on by a screw, and we'll just take that screw out. There you have it. Alright. And then our rear sight, you can see, is dovetailed with a set screw. So what I'm going to do This might be the right size. Oh, need to go a little smaller. We'll loosen this set screw here and use our nylon punch to just knock this side off. There you go. Alright, so as you can see, this handguard is going to come back over the receiver, and it's going to use mounting screws right here, right? So we need to go ahead and pull out these plug screws. And the last one. All right. There you have it. Now your handguard, when you get it, it's going to come with the top piece installed. And what we will do is remove these 4 top screws. You can see them there. I'm going to guess which side I need, and I guessed right. 7/64. We'll just pull that out. The Midwest, like all their other kits, it does come with a set of Allen wrenches for you to do this with, but we're using our own here. Put those in our parts tray. All right. Now we have some hardware here. We have our front sight kit, our rear sight kit, and then the tool kit, and then handguard hardware was actually in here. All right. So first we're going to need these, and I'll just let me rearrange some things to make this a better viewing experience for you there. I'll move these right here. Don't need those yet. I'll get our old sights out of the way. And I'm going to dump all this hardware right here. Alright, so what you're going to see when you dump this out, you're going to have these 2 blocks right here. I'll show you exactly what those are for. That'll make sense in just a minute here. You have these 2 screws that are a fine thread. Do not confuse them with the handguard screws, because these are a coarse thread. So you should have 2 fine threads and 4 coarse threads that we pulled out of the top piece, right? So don't get those mixed up. Okay, so I'll show you something real quick here that we ran into when we first installed this. Alright, so if you remember, we loosened this screw here to get those plug screws out easily. If you have this tightened all the way down, your handguard may not fit. Okay, because this tab needs to go into the receiver, and if this is tightened all the way down, this tab may or may not clear. But we have this screw loose, remember, because we loosened it for those plugs. So this tab goes right in. Your handguard should fit nice and flush, just like this. And then from there, at this point, we go ahead and tighten this screw back up. Nothing crazy, just nice and snug. And it's pinching our handguard now, that's perfectly fine. Alright, at this point, I want to take these fine thread screws and that block that runs through the barrel, in between the barrel and the mag tube, we are going to put these into there. Now I'm just going to do a few turns. I'm not even going to go all the way down with them. I'm going to put them in there nice and loose for now. And you'll see why in just a moment. Do the same thing on the other side. Alright. Now, you have these two long screws right here. And then you have these two blocks. So these longer screws are going to go through the handguard and push into these blocks, just like that. Alright? And where these blocks ride, you can see they have a, if you come over here, you can see they have a bevel cut in them. They will sit between your barrel and your magazine tube, just like that. Now what I'm going to need to do is take it and I'm going to slide it all the way back until it's underneath this hole. Then this plug screw is going to go down and lock into that block. Got it? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, slid all the way down on that side. Just make sure it is in place here. And I slid it all the way down, and it's going to need to come back just a hair, which no big deal. And if you look in from the direction I'm looking in, but you can't look in that way because of where the camera is, you can see the screw going in to the plate. And I'm just going to screw it down just until it's touching that plate. Just like that. Alright. I'm going to flip it and do the exact same thing. There we go, slid it all the way down. Get my screws started. And slide my plate back. Need a little bit more slack, so I'm going to loosen this side just a bit. There we go. And you can see what these pieces do. They are what keep your handguard aligned. Alright. So if you look in from the top, you can see those screws going into the plates. Alright? And what we're going to do is tension those down so that our handguard, or so that our barrel is centered in our handguard. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you where we're at here. I didn't even check to see how close we were now. We're pretty close. We're a little bit off, but we're pretty close. So if I have too small of a gap on this side, I just tighten this side down a bit to pull. And you have to loosen this side when you do that. And that's why it's important to keep these two screws going through the cross bolt loose so that it has room to move back and forth, right? I'll make sure those are indeed loose. They are. That looks good. Alright. Once you get those where they need to be, you just torque down those screws going through the cross bolt, nice and snug. And we're not putting it on now, but Midwest Industries did provide some Vibratite to put on those threads. So if you, you've seen me do a bunch of these installs probably. I rarely use the stuff, but definitely feel free to use it. Right, so if you notice, we have this little brass screw left over. I'm just going to flip this to the bottom. This brass screw is going to go in this rear slot here. And I'm just going to snug it up, just like so. We'll turn this back vertical, and now we'll get this top rail installed. So pretty clear what happens here. I'll just turn this a bit towards you. This sits on top. Those 4 screws you took out go back in. And then we're gonna put some mounting screws back here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take those 4 mentioned mounting screws, and I'm gonna not make them super tight. I'm just gonna lightly snug them up. We'll come back and torque them in a bit. Like that. And one more. All right. Now we need to come back to our receiver. And we didn't tighten those screws all the way down because as you can see, there's a little bit of movement there. So we want to make sure these are lined up before we tighten these down. Okay. All right, I'm gonna cut this open here. Alright, so you have your rear sight, which is a nice ghost ring style setup there. Then you have these 4 screws right here. Alright, now it's important to mention we have 2 smaller screws and 2 larger screws. Okay, so the 2 longer screws are going to go through this ghost ring base plate. Now, there's a notch that's cut into it, and that's going to correspond with the notches on the back here, and that's going to be your windage. Okay, so just make sure you have this facing the right way. Alright, so what we're going to do is take one of our longer screws. I'll just drop it in the front there. Doesn't matter, you can start with the back or the front. And we'll just go right through that top rail into the receiver. And I'm just going to go ahead and zero out my windage here. And I'm going to snug that up. And torque on these, we'll go back and torque everything when we're done. And I'll tell you all the torque ratings and stuff. So we're just going to snug it up for now. And of course, again, you can put the Vibratite on there if you want to. Then the shorter screws will go in the front here. Alright, and that last one. Alright, perfect. So now we can go through and torque everything. I'm just going to grab my torque attachments. Alright, and we'll start with these front screws here. Alright, so torque for these is going to be 20 inch-pounds, and of course you need to make sure you're using the right driver. Alright, so I'm going to do the front right, then I'm going to crisscross applesauce, come to the back here, 20, opposite side, 20. And number 4, 20. Alright, now the ones on the receiver are only 10. And I say they're 10. 10 just, I know that's what the instructions say. It feels a little loose. I'm gonna bump it up to 15. All right. Those are all torqued down. Side screws are torqued down. Okay, and if you notice, we are missing a front sight. So we'll go ahead and install that now. And you know what, actually, yeah, I'll do it that way. All right. So we'll cut open our front sight package here. All right, so you have this aluminum machined front sight, and if you notice, one side of it's serrated. That's the side that's going to be facing you, so that's going to face back towards the receiver. There's a screw that drops down the top, and literally all we need to do is just screw it down to the barrel. Here we go. Nice and snug. And it does come with an adjustment tool. So for your height adjustment, your rear sight is threaded in. And you can't see what I'm doing because of these shields on the side, so I will turn this. And this just fits over like so. And you can adjust your elevation by just rotating it in and out, raise it up and down. And that is all there is to it. All we need to do at this point, put our magazine tube back in. And something I will point out on this particular one, not all of them, the handguard is blocking the loading port on the magazine tube, which honestly, I don't care about because I'm going to be using the receiver loading port. Obviously, this handguard doesn't block it on all models, just this particular one. This particular barrel length and the 360 Buckhammer. But like I said, this is your primary means of loading it. I can't think of any situation where I wouldn't be using that anyway. So no big deal. And that's all there is to it. It does come with M-LOK attachment. So you can stick a M-LOK rail anywhere, but I mean, other than that, use your favorite M-LOK accessories. This is a perfect platform for mounting any scope or red dot optic or whatever you want to put on there. All right, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on the website, feel free to give us a call on the tech line. We'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.